Heartbreaking for parents to learn that their child is being bullied at school. But for one family in Ohio, the taunting turned tragic when their son committed suicide. Now the parents say it's the school that's responsible for his death. 17-year-old Eric Mohat always had a smile in yearbook photos, but behind that smile, Eric was hiding from his parents and friends that he was constantly tormented by bullies. Eric's parents are suing the Mentor Ohio School District. The lawsuit claims that school officials and teachers were aware of the situation and did not take action. In a statement to CBS News, the school district says that after conducting its own investigation, they, quote, found no evidence to support the family's claims that we ignored a bullying problem. But for the Mohat family, that's not enough.
How do you live with yourself knowing that you did not protect your child?
9 teenagers in Massachusetts face charges of bullying a 15-year-old girl until she finally killed herself. Authorities and parents are asking why no one stepped in to help her.
Bullied and harassed until she had had enough. 15-year-old Phoebe Prince hanged herself in her family's home in January. Now, after a long investigation, 9 teenagers have been charged. 2 males, 7 females. 3 of the girls are juveniles. Charges include statutory rape, violation of civil rights with bodily injury, criminal harassment, and stalking. Investigators believe that the bullying started after Prince was ostracized following a brief relationship with a well-known boy at school. The abuse quickly moved from the schoolyard to cyberspace, where Prince was sent hurtful text messages and harassed on Facebook. On the day she died, Prince was bullied in the library, threatened in school hallways, and had a drink thrown at her as she walked home.
Seth Walsh, a 13-year-old from Tehachapi, California, took his own life because of bullying at his school that went unaddressed. According to a report from KGET-TV, Walsh died Tuesday afternoon after spending 9 days on life support after having hung himself from a tree in his backyard. Students at the school acknowledged that Walsh had received the brunt end of bullying for a long time for being gay, and that teachers at Jacobson Middle School didn't intervene despite having an anti-bullying program at the school. Police said there would be no charges in the death of Walsh. KGET reported that, quote, Tehachapi police investigators interviewed some of the young people who taunted Seth the day he hanged himself and determined despite the tragic outcome of their ridicule, their actions did not constitute a crime.
You know, we've focused a lot on this program over the years on the problem of bullying and how a lot of us today don't take it seriously enough. Some adults think it's, just a rite of passage, something that all kids go through. But while many kids do go through it, not all of them survive. I want you to meet a little boy named Asher Brown. He lived in Texas. He was 13 years old. And I say was in the past because he shot himself in the head last Thursday. His stepfather found his little body crumpled up at the bottom of a closet. Asher's mom and stepfather say that he was bullied to death, that he killed himself after being constantly harassed by 4 classmates. Picked on, they say, because he was small, because he didn't wear the kind of popular clothes that other kids wore, and because he was gay. Now, they say school officials ignored their repeated complaints. The school district, I should tell you, denies getting any complaints about bullying from anyone, from Asher's family, from students, or from staff members. But we've talked to other parents who say their kids are also being bullied at the school, and they say their complaints are ignored.
Every parent's nightmare, the heart-rending story of Tyler Clementi, who ended his life after his roommate allegedly broadcast a sexual encounter over the internet. Clementi's parents released a statement today saying, quote, our hope is that our family's personal tragedy will serve as a call for compassion, empathy, and human dignity.
Something must be done. This month alone, there have been a shocking number of news stories about teens who have been teased and bullied and then committed suicide, like 13-year-old Seth Walsh in Tehachapi, California, 13-year-old Asher Brown in Cypress, Texas, and 15-year-old Billy Lucas in Greensburg, Indiana. This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone that teenage bullying and teasing is an epidemic in this country and the death rate is climbing. 1 life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis. And these are just the stories we hear about. How many other teens have we lost? How many others are suffering in silence? Being a teenager and figuring out who you are is hard enough without someone attacking you. My heart is breaking for their families, for their friends, and for our society that continues to let this happen. These kids needed us, and we have an obligation to change this. There are messages everywhere that validate this kind of bullying and taunting, and we have to make it stop. We can't let intolerance and ignorance take another kid's life. And I want anyone out there who feels different and alone to know that I know how you feel. And there is help out there, and you can find support in your community. If you need someone to talk to, or if you want to get involved, there are some really great organizations listed on our website. Things will get easier, people's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it.